Street cred sports. Street cred sports. I'm crossing over. I'm Euro stepping.
Hello, this is Keenan of Street Cred Sports Training, and welcome to another episode of Time to Ball. This is episode 75. It's not the silver anniversary. I guess it's the silver anniversary times 3. So I'm reporting from an undisclosed location. Nobody know where I'm at, so this way I can do my podcast in peace and not worry about anybody banging on the door telling me to turn it down. Hope everybody's doing well. It has been a month. July has been an interesting month, so I hope y'all's is going well. My month has been going pretty well. You know, it is what it is. Still dealing with this nagging injury. Get good, and then next thing you know, get a setback, and so I'm just chugging along, man. Just chugging along. So I intended on doing a visual, but with the noise, I didn't think I would come out as crisp and as clean as I wanted to. So decided to do an audio. As I said, you know, this will be the last one. I don't know if I'm gonna take off a week or 2 weeks or a month. I need to get ready for some things coming my way. So I will keep y'all posted. But without further ado, let's get into some things that interest. This portion is sponsored by 915 Carpet Cleaning. They take care of all of your needs, whether it's residential or commercial, whether it's flooring or carpet. 915 Carpet Cleaning, they get the job done. Look up 915 Carpet Cleaning. The carpet cleaner you know before you need one. All right, want to start with Team USA and Steve Kerr. I think me personally, I think Kerr is overthinking and overcoaching and making things too complicated. To me, you don't do a situation where you're just benching guys, right? There's got to be some kind of thought process as to who you're going to bench and why, and that should be explained. So if, for those of you who don't know, Jason Tatum, who played for the Boston Celtics, who just won, got a max player contract, all NBA, all-star, and all of those things, accolades, didn't play against Serbia in the first game of the Olympics, first pool play game, and it was odd and interesting. And you know, Kerr was like, well, you know, I talked to him, and you know, we made the decision. And I'm thinking to myself, what decision would warrant him not playing at all? At all. You got 12 alphas. You got 12 of the best players in the world. Okay? Obviously for their respective teams. Now you have a couple that in White and Drew Holiday that aren't considered like, you know, top dogs, but what they do and bring to the table is extraordinary. So I'm not saying you got to bench them. I'm saying they all need to play. That's my opinion. They all need to play, and you know, whether it's significant minutes, I don't know, but man, I can't. I'm trying to think of a scenario where you're gonna bench players 92 and 96, right? You're gonna bench players. Now, like Larry Bird didn't play as much because he was injured. He was just there to have fun. But explain to me how you gonna decide to tell. Okay, so let me get it. 92 was after the 91 season in which the Bulls won. So you're gonna just arbitrarily bench Scottie Pippen in one of those games. Now, push back. People are gonna say, "Oh yeah, but the competition wasn't is fierce then." Man, it's just a little bit better, but you boys can't compete with us. If we go and we ball, we play, they can't compete. I honestly feel like I feel like the Team USA kind of goes through the motion. I don't feel like they had that same gangster mentality that we did in 92 and even 96. That, yeah, nah, we coming over here, we gonna beat y'all ass. I mean, like, really, literally gonna beat y'all ass. I don't feel like they had that mentality. Just the way they play, yeah, they'll lock in for sometimes. They'll move it. They'll get a lead and stuff. But I just don't like when I'm watching them. They're doing it, yes. They're enjoying it, yes. I just don't feel like they're going with, dog, let's try to beat them by 60, right? That's just me. That's just me. Now, I say all that to say I don't see a scenario where you would, where you don't play anybody. Hell, even Leitner played in the '92 games. He didn't play a lot, but I don't see how that happens. So I think he was making it too complicated and stuff trying to coach, and I get it, you want to coach, but like then you got the best talent in the world that you could put any five on at any time and they should dominate as long as they know, hey, rules of engagement, this is what they like to do, these are their people, this is what they're gonna try to do to us, we should be good. If anything, you should have a hierarchy, right? The older players that have been few, those should be the ones, unless they're, not one, two, they should possibly get a bulk of the minutes. The guys who have been there maybe once or twice, they should get medium minutes. The guys who is like maybe this is their first Olympics, maybe they don't get as much. I don't know. I don't know how you do it because Embiid, this is his first Olympics, but he's dominant. So then you have him not play against Sudan, and you say, oh, well, it's because of matchup problems. They didn't have anybody over 6'10". But damn, don't that work to y'all advantage? Are you saying Embiid can't play 10 minutes in that game? 15 minutes in that game? He's a liability against South Sudan? Yeah. Now I think now it's almost like he's got to bench somebody each game, so he can still make it seem like he's making his point, But I don't get it. I don't rock with it. I mean, and look, for the record, I have been a Steve Kerr fan forever. Steve Kerr lost me after Golden State won their last championship. After they won it, he lost me that year with how he played guys. In the year after, he did not play those younger guys and start allowing them to get minutes, get groomed, because your guys are getting older. You're gonna need to have the strength in numbers mentality that they built on. He started going in more into leaning on his veterans and not playing those guys. Then you get rid of Wiseman. Now you're gonna have a situation where you're gonna look. So I think he hasn't been, I don't feel like he's. I feel like he's changed. And maybe that happens when you win. You win a lot, and you just feel like you can do whatever you want. But nah, that shit runs out. It runs out, and people start to look at it now. Unintended consequences. If Steve Kerr continues to be the coach of the Olympics, some of these top players might say, nah, dog, I ain't going over there. That's embarrassing to not play. I get the whole, well, we're a team scenario, but I'm one of the best players in the world. How the fuck you gonna have me not play a game against some guys that, like, man, I could kill those guys. Now, if your argument is, well, you know what, your ball movement isn't as strong as what we need, or hey, they're gonna target you some defensively, and that's a weakness. All right, well, I'm gonna strap up on D, but you're not letting me come out. You gonna play me. I didn't come all the way over here just to sit and watch. No, I didn't come over here for that. I'm playing. I'm not a scrub, So I don't get it. I think he's overcoaching. I think they're trying to be too cute with what they're saying, and I really think going forward, it's going to come back and bite them. If he's going to be the coach, I think it's going to come back biting. Because if I'm an all NBA player, man, I'm not coming over there for that. Like, look, I get it. But yeah, no, bro, I'm not coming over there for that. And then you start losing some of the top players that aren't interested in coming because of that. Then you got to deal with players who aren't ready mentally or are seasoned to understand things. And now you got a situation where we could lose again. So, yeah, that's a thing. I think it's a thing. All right, so I have not a gripe, but if you're gonna bench some people, I'm gonna be real and honest. Steph hasn't been looking good. Why is his minutes not tapering off if you're coaching, right? He hasn't been looking good in against Serbia. He hit a couple of threes, but he didn't look good against Sudan. That length was kind of bothering him a little. Now obviously he didn't get as many shots as he normally gets, but nobody's getting the volume of shots that they normally get. So you have to be ready to play and add something. Now, obviously, if you're shooting and you're missing and those kind of things, it's off offensively. I get it. All right. Now, but number one, you're not playing the point. For the most part, you're playing two guard. Bron's playing the point, so you don't even have the ball in your hands enough. But most important, they going at Steph. That guard, I don't know if his name was Cole or Colton or Jones or something. That point guard for South Sudan was cooking the Chef. He went at him. They were like hunting to get Steph on mismatches. And I was surprised because Steph has shown these past 2 or 3 years that he could play deep. Now, I don't know if he left it back at the Olympic Village. I don't know where his D was, but it wasn't with him against South Sudan. So, all right, next game, or are you benching Steph? We're playing Puerto Rico. They got a whole bunch of quick guards. We don't think it's going to be favorable for you. I don't know. What are you going to say? But, yeah, I mean, if that's your philosophy, then it should be. Now, I think taking it a step further, I feel like you shouldn't have a current NBA coach, coaching the Olympics. Because I feel like there's going to be some bias, right? I do feel like that. And point of contention is Steph hasn't played well, but his minutes don't seem to be as effective. And Steve Kerr is his coach. So why not have somebody who used to coach in the NBA? Maybe he's retired now. There are plenty of there are plenty of retired coaches there that coach, and they could do the job. And you want to have current NBA coaches as assistants? Yeah, that's fine. Maybe get a good college coach. Let Mark Few coach the team. But I don't know, man. The reason why is because now it never would have crossed my mind if Steph had been playing like lights out. But you bench Tatum for one game. You bench Embiid the next game. I think maybe Embiid has been struggling with his body. He's not there yet. He doesn't look as crisp as what he's been. So maybe that's it, and they're just kind of saying it. But let's just take them for their word. Now we benched him. Okay, so Steph has had a couple of rough games. He hadn't been Steph. Are we benching him in his third game? Now I don't think Steph will have a problem with it because when he came back from injury, he came off the bench. I think that year that they went and won the championship, and it was like, yo, if Steph can come off the bench, anybody can come off the bench. So, but if Steph ain't playing, how is that gonna go over? So I don't think that you should have a current coach coaching the Team USA, unless you pick a coach that don't have any players there on the team. I can see that. But then what if you used to coach for a team, and let's say you coach and you was there with Kevin Durant, and you and him didn't like each other. Well, then you got to deal with that. So I think if you just have somebody that ain't affiliated, ain't been there in a minute, I think it would actually, you know, I think it would serve a better purpose. But again, that's my opinion. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think there are biases with these coaches? Do y'all think that Steph, should be coming off the bench? Do you think that Steve Kerr is overcoaching? Send me the comments. Let me know what y'all feel. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is one of the countries that I have just really enjoyed watching is Japan. Japan has played with a lot of toughness and joy. Like when they played Team USA, it was a game for the first half. It was an interesting game. Then Team USA pulled away second half, but Japan kept playing, and they kept playing hard. And one of the things that impressed me the most was how excited they were when they hit shots. When they made plays, they were smiling to each other. They weren't, it wasn't like, we did this. I hit a shot over this USA player. She's not out. Not a cockiness, but just like a sense of we're playing. We're in the Olympics. We're enjoying this. And I really appreciated that. I liked it from the on the men's side as well. Their guards are really good. I think that was some home cooking. The angle I saw with Japan playing France, the referee called that foul and gave that player I think his last name was Stanley for France. He hit a 3-pointer with like 4 or 10 seconds left. He shoots a 3, he gets fouled, shot goes in, 4-point play. From where I stood, from where I was watching, it wasn't a foul. It wasn't a foul. I thought they would have done like a replay. Now they do replay to determine whether it's a flagrant. Why not look and say, okay, you know what? That wasn't a foul. Okay, so he's gonna count the basket, their ball. We play on, right? But yeah, people said it was home cooking. Referee was behind, so that's always an odd thing. You're gonna be behind the player. You call a foul and you don't have proper field of view, which bothers. But it is what it is. France came back and won in overtime. They should have lost that game. I think they know it. They got some home cooking. I feel like they know it, the way their body languages were. Wemby was, especially. And obviously you're gonna take the win. Hey, they made the call, yeah. But yeah, now he had to hit the shot, but kid from Japan, why are we even contesting? If we're gonna foul, we need to foul before he goes up, or we need to foul and foul him to where he doesn't get that shot off. He doesn't even get a look. Slap his arm as he's getting ready to go up. So he's got to shoot 3 free throws, right? But he don't get a chance to make that shot, or we don't even contest. We don't put it in the ref's hands to make that call. I felt like it was a low ball IQ play, and it cost him. So he was a hero because he was killing, and now he ends up being, one of the reasons that they lost because of that foul. But all in all, I really like the way they play. I enjoy watching them play, and I've watched some other games and teams. Some of these countries get intense. Who is it? Spain and Puerto Rico was playing, man. At the end of the game, them ladies was ready to square off and fight. I was like, oh man, a little bit, extra. They shouldn't be doing that. But in any case, I've been enjoying it. So hopefully y'all are watching games and cheering. I was like, you kind of become patriotic. You're cheering for the USA. I like to see greatness, and I like to see people really perform, no matter what country they're from. Obviously, I'm gonna be pulling for the USA with everything, but what's his name? Marshawn, I think it is, the swimmer. Yo, he leaped. So I'm pulling for him, but I want USA to medal and stuff. But okay, so that's it for that. Let me get on to my basketball ideology. All right, so I was listening to a podcast, not mine. I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about different things when it comes to basketball. They you tend to want to use different terminology to understand what why you're doing things. I think sometimes we're always trying to we're always trying to do the next best thing, and it's good in some instances. In other instances, I think look, you know it sometimes boils down to simple stuff. Like, we try to put all of this other stuff into it, but it boils down to other stuff, simple stuff. So they were talking about this. It was called CLA in basketball, and it's constraints led approach, and it's basically different approaches where my understanding, I'm still reading up on it, but the best that I got informationally when they were talking about it was, for instance, if you're gonna have you're gonna do a drill, you're gonna put one guy in a certain situation, and then you go on that. So maybe you have a defender, he has to defend, and the constraint you put on him is, okay, he has to defend with his arms behind his back, right? So obviously the offensive player is going to have more of a advantage in attacking. Okay, so I think I'm still reading up on it. I'm still not as fully versed in it, but I was looking it up just to kind of give you an understanding of kind of what they were saying. So I started thinking about, when I train, and there are some people say, hey, training doesn't help, and I don't believe that. Now, is training the end all and know all, or one-on-one training, one kid and one trainer? No, it's levels, right? Like I want to get a kid's confidence really high. You got to have confidence to play this sport. You add all of that other stuff as you're adding the confidence. Once the confidence starts to get better. So, like, you'll hear people say, and I've seen different stuff, and they even talked about it. One of the persons on the podcast was like, they're not really as big on one-on-one. They like 5-on-5 or 5-on-0, different concepts that way, and they feel like one-on-one, it's not true sense, because there's only a certain percentage of kids that are going to be one-on-one players in games. They don't want you to have street ball mentality. You got to pass, cut, run offense and stuff like that. I view it differently. My objective when I'm doing one-on-one training and when I'm trying to get a kid confidence up is to do one-on-one, because when that kid has the ball, he should be confident enough to know that if he has to take his defender, he can. But it doesn't mean he's going to try to take his defender every single time. Now, if he's that good and he puts a lot of pressure on the defense and he creates opportunities for other kids, then obviously, that's an asset to a team. But can you name me one team that's won at really high levels where they didn't have guys that could break you down off the dribble, right? Where everything is predicated on passing, and it's passing, and you get every single shot through the passing. Even Golden State with their, great passing, that was part of it. But they have a guy that could get a shot anytime he wants. And that's who the ball was in his hands at. Now, am I trying to create, that level of player? No. I'm trying to help these kids and instilling confidence in these kids. Teaching them fundamental, right? Fundamental play. Then starting to get into, okay, you're gonna do one-on-one. So where I'm going with this is, it made me think about my group class that I have. And I actually was kind of chuckling as I'm listening, because I'm like, well, I'm already doing all of this that they're talking about. So I do one-on-one occasionally. And I do one-on-one because I want to be able to point out to the kids what they did right, what they did wrong, what they actually had. So if a kid has the ball in the triple threat and the defender's 2 feet away with his arms down, that kid should be shooting it. So if that kid tries to drive, then I'm gonna ask them, well, why didn't you take that shot? Shot's right there. If he's all up on you, now you want to go by him. So I'm trying to get them to visually understand how to attack, when to attack, what they have as they're learning, right? There's no yelling, what the hell are you doing? No, it's showing them. So now, next time around, when they get the ball, they're looking for that. And I've seen it time and time again in these 1v1 games with these 5th graders and 6th graders. They're understanding better. They're getting better at, deciphering, hey, okay, where is he at? How is he guarding me? I need to do this, I need to do that. And okay, this is a shot. Now, are they doing it, executing it perfectly every single time? No, because it's a learning process. But they are improving. They are getting better at attacking and taking shots. And I tell them, I don't care if you miss it. I just want to know if was that the shot you wanted, or you getting the shots you want. That's part of the process, right? So then I go into 2 versus 2, right? 2 versus 2, it's more team oriented. You're cutting, you're setting screens, you're posting up, you're playing off of each other, right? It's not as much one-on-one as 1 versus 1. Then you have 3-on-3, where it's almost like a structured game, right? Because on 2 versus 2, you beat your guy, you're probably going to get an open layup. 3 versus 3, there's going to be some help at some point that you got to figure out what should you do. Should you shoot? Should you pass? So I feel like that's the difference between them: 1 versus 1, 2v2, and 3v3. For me, this is how I view it, and this is what I feel the difference is. Right? Now, in saying that, I feel like they're all effective, or they all have a purpose. Everyone has a purpose, and as I explained, the 3 reasons. 1 versus 1 is the purpose of instilling better confidence and letting kids understand what they have available, how they can look to score with counters and stuff, and taking what the defense gives them, as opposed to I'm just gonna pump fake and then I'm gonna throw a ball up, or I'm gonna drive to the basket with the guy on me and just throw this ball up and stop and turn and fake, and then throw something up. 2 versus 2, we're gonna do this. Now we're gonna learn and understand how the screen and roll works better. Slips, fake to the ball, dribble handoffs, all of these different things. Defensively, we're gonna learn what defense works best, and understand that there's always something you're gonna give away. If you switch on everything, you're gonna give up something. If you trap the ball handler every time 2v2, you're gonna give up something. If you go under the screen, you should give up something. Now, whether the kid that has the ball is able to understand and discern what they have is one thing, but understanding that you're giving these things up is another, right? So, 3 versus 3. Now you have a little bit more complicated, because when you drive, there will be help. What decision are you making? What's your instinct telling you? Is that shot there? Are you drawing the defender and kicking it out for an open shot? Is that teammate cutting to the basket and you're able to to get them the ball? So there are a lot of different things that can come into play with 3-on-3, 2-on-2, 1-on-1. They all bring something different to the table, and I've learned that as I've been doing this. Like I continue to love to learn, because I'm seeing different things, and I think these kids are getting so much better. Instead of kids just, when they get the ball and somebody's running out at them and they're trying to just catch it and shoot it as fast as they can so it doesn't get blocked, I'm seeing kids now in these situations when they get the pass, when the kid's running out there to try to contest the shot, they're pump faking, taking one dribble and shoot, and they're getting it off quick to where nobody's bothering that shot. They're getting a nice shot. Sometimes kids will pump fake, they take a dribble, and then they go up to shoot, and that kid comes back and blocks the shot. But I'm not seeing as much of that, which I think is great because I'm seeing growth. One on one, it's still ways to go. They're not understanding counters, and I've told them as soon as my body heals, I'm gonna help you understand because I'm gonna start to show you what it looks like. You know, your boy can still get on the floor in a 1v1, you know, and do a little something, you know, and like let me emphasize the word, a little something. So I want to be able to show them how I can read the defender and make the correct move and get the shot I want, whether I make it or miss it, right? And if I can show them that, then hopefully they will start to pick these things up. 2-on-2, showing them, look, you can get anything you want out of pick and roll. It's the hardest thing to defend as long as you know what to do, how to do it, right? And you just stick with what's worked. If they're gonna switch, you either slip or once you set that screen, he holds them, cuts through. Rim runs, and you give them that pass, and it's a score every time. They're gonna stop switching. They gotta do something different because they don't want to get that up. Once they change to another thing, if you're good enough to understand how to attack it, you should be able to, win in some fashion. Then you have 3 versus 3, and getting past your defender and reading the help defender, making a choice, right? If you don't make a choice, if you make the correct choice, then it's going to be easy. If you don't, then obviously it's not. But understanding and looking at those things are really, really crucial. So I am so glad that I've started, group trainings, small groups. I'm not doing like 10 or 15 kids. I'm doing mainly 4. I might want to up it to 5 or 6 so I can do 3-on-3s. But I'm comfortable with 4. They're comfortable with 4. And we're able to do so many things, so many game situations. I have a drill where I had a kid at the top of the key, right? And let's say he's at the top. If I'm facing the basket, he's on the left side. He's on the left side at past on the 3-point line. And I'll have like a chair or a defender there that's supposedly setting the screen. I'll also have another kid with him that's behind him. So the CLA approach means this kid playing defense can't go under the screen. He has to go over the top of the screen for this particular drill. Then I'll have one defender that's not on the block, not on that hash mark next to the block, on the second hash mark up from the top. Okay, so he's about mid post on the paint. And then I have an offensive player that's out in that corner. Okay, if you're looking at the rim, that defender is on the right side. Okay, if you're facing the rim, rather, that defender's on the right side, and that offensive player is on the right corner. So they all have things that they need to look for. Obviously, the person with the ball has to come over because once they get past the screen, we're in a live situation where the defender is now actively, he's at a disadvantage, but he's trying to, get in front, steal the ball, or communicate, right? That person with the ball has to make a quick decision. Am I getting into a shot? Is the defender going to come up? Am I going to pass it, to my teammate? That defender has a choice. Am I going to run up? Am I going to stay back? What am I going to do? That offensive player in the corner has a decision. Am I going to cut to the basket if the defender goes up? Am I going, if the defender stays back, am I going to move up, pull up towards the wing to give my guy a line of sight? So first I won't have the second defender on the ball, behind the ball handler. It'll just be one defender at the block. So it's basically a 2 versus 1 scenario. And then I'll progress and have that extra defender up there behind the ball to kind of simulate, okay, this guy's made a move, getting past a defender and getting over the screen past his defender, and now he's got decisions to make. So it is really proved fruitful to do some of these things, because by doing them, I'm allowing these kids to really make mistakes and then discuss with them. Okay, did you see what you had? Did you understand what you had? Why aren't you looking for this? These are the things you need to be going. So it helps them. And the parents, some of these parents that bring their kids, they're coaches on teams, and they're loving it because they actually said this is the exact things that they struggle with in games. So I'm focusing more on some of this stuff because it's more game situation, and it's really allowing these kids to make mistakes here with me, so I can kind of counsel them and say, look, this is what you had. Like, I got on kids yesterday because it was 2 versus 2, and the screener would screen but kind of stay there. And I kept telling them, you have to roll. The other team, they were using, running to the ball and then cutting back door. They were using slip cuts. They were screening and rolling. And they were getting pretty much anything they wanted out of it. They didn't always make shots, but they were getting a lot out of it. The other team, they were scoring, but it wasn't with the ease. They were working hard because they weren't always doing the screen, right? Now, one thing that I have noticed that I've identified, and I'm, trying to help these kids, is when the play breaks down, trying to help them understand you can pull the ball back out and reset it, because that's something you're going to have to do in high school. And a lot of these kids, they get the ball and it's, the play's kind of broken down, and they don't see how to get a look out of that play. They just, I got to shoot it. They just make these weird moves, and then they throw the ball up. And then I say, well, why did you shoot it? Well, I was a little bit nervous and scared. I said, what were you scared of? Like, there's no shot clock. I'm telling you, if you don't have that shot, if you don't get what you want, pull it out and reset it, right? And then rerun it. Or, maybe he comes over and sets a screen for you, and you can get some of that action right there. But don't panic. Another thing I've been learning is teaching these kids how, when your teammate picks the ball, don't just run from side to side with your hands up. Run to the ball and get the ball. You might even be able to get a curl and go to the basket and shoot. That's what happened like 3 or 4 times when these kids ran to the ball. They ended up getting a good look. So it's instilling these things with these kids to where I think as they continue, it's going to make them so much smarter when they play. And once they're in middle school and high school, their IQ is going to be off the chart. Not saying that it was me or what we did. I'm just saying, when you look at them playing where they started and the things that they were doing to now what they're doing now, their IQ is raising. So, there's got to be something there. But, we'll know as we continue. But I thought it was fascinating because, the conversation on that podcast was about certain things. And, and I'm listening and I'm thinking, well, what does that mean, right? Because I'm not as hip with all of the terminology and stuff. They talked about blur and ghost screens, and a lot of this shit is just recycled words for certain things, So, but sometimes there are newer concepts, but it's the same stuff, right? So it's like sometimes you gotta learn. What's that? I don't know what that is. You got. Okay, that's a such and such. All right, I get it. And then you continue to go because you know what it is. So you try not to get lost with that, but at the same time, I think what we're hitting on here is something valuable to where now I actually have an idea for something that I'm going to utilize to, in a sense, continue to grow what I'm doing, because I couldn't do it before. I didn't have a place, but I think I can do it in a controlled environment, and allow these kids to prosper. So hopefully I can get these things going, and continue to get these kids better at what they want to do, because I for me, would I love every kid I train to be good enough to go play college? Absolutely, because that's what they want. So to be able to help them attain that is crucial. But realistically, there are kids that come through here that they're not going to have the work ethic to actually practice. Some are just, they're never, some will never really truly get over whatever fear they have. Some will be in situations where they have everything they need, but they lack good coaching. Coaches who unfortunately will sit certain kids because of whatever reasons, and push certain kids that they're trying to push. I'm only going by what I've actually physically seen and what I've heard. There are some coaches out there that do that. I mean, hell, we just had an Olympic coach bench a guy for, I still don't know why. I mean, there's no big, like, now they mentioned it with Joel Embiid, but it made less sense, because if the guys are 6'9", Joel's 7'1", don't you think you want to put the ball in Joel's hand on the lower block? They can't guard him. They're gonna have to help, and if they help, that opens up shots. So, but I'm not in the war room. It's easy for me to sit back here and say what I'm saying without all of the intel. If that man is hurt, then yeah. But as far as I grew up playing, I know matching up wise sometimes, yeah. But Joel plays out on perimeter, so he should be able to guard enough. I don't think the 6'9" guy is shooting 40% from the three, right? And an advantage would be, now we dumping it into the big fella. You eat until they can stop you. If you get 40, you get 40, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't. What do I know? So that's gonna be all for today with the basketball ideology. I hope what I talked about was helpful. There are some exciting things coming for Street Cred Sports, and I will be, letting you know when I'm ready to let you know some, what's going on, things that I feel are going to be really helpful to kids with what I'm trying to do and help them. So again, I don't know how long. Don't worry, I'm not gonna be gone for no year or no 6 months. I'm not reporting to prison. I don't have no jail sentence that I'm trying to hide, and I gotta be in jail for a few weeks, and then if your boy was going in, your boy would be trying to do a podcast from inside. Hey yo, what you in for, man? I'm in for triple murder. Okay, yeah, we gonna let you sit over there and relax. We don't need to talk to you because we don't want no triggers. So look, like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let me know what you guys think. And like I said, I'm thinking it's gonna be maybe a week or two. Could be a little bit longer. I don't foresee being away more than a month, but we'll see how everything goes. Okay, so I'm gonna leave y'all the way I've always left, and say, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. I'm out.
Street Cred Sports, say it with your chest. Yeah. Go get it from the net. Street Cred Sports, okay, that's a bet.